welcome to this week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Marilyn, and Marilyn is from Riviera Cruises, and I've met with her before on a few occasions, and if you'd like to go back and look at all of those episodes that we did, each and every cruise line that I meet with has its own playlist. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go and check out the playlist. If you're listening to this on our podcast and you want to see all the other ones, head on over to YouTube and check those out. So over to you.
Thank you, Kathleen, and it's great to be back with you. Yes, the last time you and I chatted, I went through Riviera Cruises onboard product, you know, the fact that we're the top of the premium line with significantly larger cabins. We like to say top of the premium line with less than premium prices.
There you go.
And we sail through all of the 10 major European waterways, a total of 20 different itineraries. And everybody has their favorite itinerary. And I think one of mine, I actually have two favorites, if I'm allowed to,
sure,
is the round trip Paris, which actually is new for us. It wasn't supposed to be new. It was supposed to be launched in 2020, but we all know what happened then.
Yes, absolutely.
So in effect, this is a new itinerary this year.
Fabulous.
So would you like me just to talk a little bit about it?
Yes, I would. I'd love to learn about it.
Okay. Before I talk about Paris, I just want to say one thing about the Riviera product. And I think this is very important to any consumer listening, that COVID cancellation is included as standard with any cruise. But this is unique for us. We are so confident that your clients, Kathleen, are going to love their Riviera River cruise, that if by any reason or for any reason they're not a happy camper by day 2, all they have to do is go to the hotel director and say, I'm not happy, and we will make arrangements to bring them home. We'll cover any additional airfare and give them a complete refund.
Oh, amazing. That is a really strong policy to have, and that really makes you depend upon your brand because you know how good it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know, I'm happy to say that our guest satisfaction ratio is incredibly high, so I'm hoping that this will never have to be used. But we implemented it because, you know, there is a lot of concern these days for myriad of different reasons, and we just wanted to make sure that everybody was very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
So
I love
with
it.
that, Paris and Normandy. So we're offering round trip Paris. It's a 7-night, 8-day trip. And one of the beauties of this particular trip is you can see that it's round trip Paris. You do not duplicate your ports. So you're overnighting in Paris, which is great because you can use the hotel, the boat as a floating hotel. So you get an overnight at the beginning and the end. And let's face it, Paris is not a cheap city. So to be able to have your own boat where you've already unpacked as your hotel, I think is a tremendous benefit.
Yes. But
the cities that you will be visiting, you can see after leaving Paris, you sail down the Seine to Andelys, then you go to Rouen, then you hit the Normandy beaches, coming back then to Honfleur, to Giverny, sorry, I'm thinking of clothes. Giverny.
That's exactly what came into my mind when I saw that as well. I'm like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so you're going to be doing this on our Jane Austen. She was launched in 2015. She takes 140 guests. We have very spacious cabins, as you can see. The standard cabins are 161, the superior 199, and the deluxe go up to 242. Obviously, it's inclusive of all shore excursions, meals, and entertainment. So we start our round trip Paris from $609. So you're going to embark, as I said, in Paris. The boat will overnight in Paris, so you get to enjoy some of the amazing cities of Paris, or you can take a train ride if you like out to Versailles. Then day 2, your screen is blocking this, but after day 2, you're going to be going to, I'm trying to get this out of the way. I'm sorry. There we go. On day 2, you're going to Andelys. I love this place. It's so medieval, so old. It was started in the 1200s. And
So
it's
rich in history. Goodness.
oh God, yeah. Well, this whole area is.
Yeah.
This medieval castle was built by the legendary Richard the Lionheart. So you can see it's a beautiful scenery sailing down the Seine. Little quaint villages, medieval villages. They're all medieval villages. And you probably recognize some of the countryside because this, of course, is the Impressionist painter's haven.
Yes.
You know, Monet and all of that. So Rouen is a major city in this part of France. It's the 3rd largest. They call it the city of the 100 spires. So obviously we give you a guided tour of this beautiful city before you have your afternoon cruising. But Rouen, of course, is famous for, it's not very nice really, where they burnt Joan of Arc.
Okay.
So I just throw that in. Rouen Cathedral is beautifully preserved. The city, you can see the half-timbered medieval houses. This is really going back into the 12 and 1300s. Then we go on to a very notable landmark, Caudebec. Again, 12th century houses. And this used to be a temple, which is part of the reason why the city is named as it was.
Yeah. Wow.
Then we go to Ponte Du Hoc. Look at this architecture. I mean, this is going back to the 900s. So you have a full day tour. First, you go to the Bayeux to see the famous Bayeux Tapestry, and then on to Ponte Du Hoc, which is, of course, at the beginning of the Omaha beaches. The Bayeux Tapestry is very, very famous. It's like 233 feet in length. And it depicts basically the Battle of Hastings, you know, the Norman conquest, Cromwell and all of those good guys. I mean, that's just one part of it. As I said, this thing is 200 feet long. That's the city or the town of Bayeux. Again, really, really medieval, old, takes you back in time.
Sure does.
And then, of course, you hit the Normandy beaches, and we go to the American and Canadian beaches. Okay. And the American Cementary, really, really a beautiful place, considering what it is. Yeah. That, of course, is the monument to all of the thousands of soldiers that died there. And that's Ponte Du Hoc, which is, you know, obviously very, very famous history place for the Normandy landing. And then we go to Honfleur. Honfleur is on our way back. It's a charming waterfront village. It has a city center. It's got a very, very famous carousel right in the very center of Honfleur. Beautiful waterfront, loads of little shops and restaurants, and that's very, very well preserved. And you can see again, it's extremely famous for Claude Monet, who used to hang around in that area, and also Eugene Boudin, who is a native of Honfleur. So just another picture of Honfleur. Very, very quaint, beautiful town. Giverny or Vernon is it's the home of the great Impressionist painter Claude Monet. This actually was his home. And of course, it's home to one of the most famous gardens in the world. You'll recognize it again with the Monet painting. Yes. And again, after lunch, you will be exploring the beautiful half-timbered and ancient winding streets of Giverny and Vernon. I mean, this house, I don't know if you can see it properly, but it spans the river. It's supported on both sides.
That's a bridge underneath it, right?
That's a bridge underneath. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, perfectly.
Can you imagine how they built that?
Goodness.
I mean, that was built like in the 1200s. How the heck did they do? Well, they built Notre Dame. Yeah. Okay, so these are some of the gardens, of course. Claude Monet's very, very famous paintings, the Lily Garden. And all of these you can see, and it hasn't changed much.
No.
And then we get back to Paris. Paris, what can you say about Paris? It's the most magical city in the world. It's probably my favorite city in the world, for what's that worth. But we give you a full tour where you get to see the highlights, the Arc de Triomphe, the Champs-Élysées, the Sacré-Cœur, Eiffel Tower. And you're going to see all of these sites. So you get a good feeling for Paris. And then you can explore the city on its own. It's a walking city. Paris is definitely a walking city. And the beauty here is we spend the night there. So you can go out and experience Paris at night. Go up to Montmartre. That's a painting village. That's the Sacré-Cœur, which is in the beautiful little village of Montmartre. And it's an artist colony. You go up there for dinner or cocktails. It's magical. I was just in Paris about a month ago. No, 2 months ago. And although Notre Dame is sealed off because of the fire, you can still see a lot of the architecture. You can see the balustrades, and you can still see quite a bit of it. Of course, you can't go in it,
right,
for obvious reasons.
Yes, it's not very stable right now. Yeah.
No. But Paris, as I said, is a walking city, and I think once you get the guided tour, it really gives you a good feel for the city. And it's a city that, I don't know about you, Kathleen, but you can go back to many times and always discover new and different things.
Right. Yeah, I like cities like that where it's, every time that you go, you experience and you get to see something completely new, and it just changes your whole perspective again.
Exactly.
Of the city and what you've got going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we are. So we also have a promotion for any new bookings, for 2022 that you make this month or February. We will give a $500 per cabin discount.
Oh,
but it's got to be on any cruise, not just Paris. On any cruise, a $500 per cabin discount. So I think that's kind of special.
Yeah, that is good. And definitely, my clients, if you'd like to take advantage of that, whether you're a new client or you've been coming back to me more than once, we'll definitely get you the best deal that we can get you for a Paris cruise or any of them, like you said. Yeah.
And as I said, Paris is certainly not cheap. And the fact that you can use the boat as your floating hotel and spend a couple of nights in Paris, it really is an added benefit.
You said one at the beginning and one at the end, is that correct? Yes.
Two. And we can get air for you. We have an air department. We can get, if you want to do a pre or a post, it doesn't have to be in Paris. We can arrange that for you as well. I mean, a lot of people want to go perhaps, I don't know, Amsterdam beforehand or wherever. We
check
can
out
arrange
another area.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't just want to go out and do that one particular cruise, but of course Paris is an easy gateway to get in and out of from most major cities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, wonderful. Wow. Well, thank you for putting that together. I loved seeing all the nice pictures of Paris, and like you said, the architecture, it just can't be beat. Right?
In France, it's pretty hard to go anywhere. Well, in Europe, it's pretty hard to go out anywhere without finding a vineyard, vineyard, or a castle.
Right. I just love castles. They're just, I don't know, it's my draw. And even when I was, younger and I was reading books, it was always about the 1800s and, castles. And it's just something that stuck with me even into adulthood now. It's just,
well, this stuff goes back to medieval time. This isn't just, Henry VIII era. This is medieval stuff. So
yeah, and some of them are still standing, and that just shows how well it was built.
It boggles the imagination how they built this. I mean, how they built these with the materials that they had and the equipment that they didn't have.
Right. Yeah, it's just all brain power, wasn't it? Just knowing how to keep things together. Fabulous. Yes.
But anyway, I do hope you have some clients who are interested in doing this particular cruise. Like I said, I'm happy to talk to them in person if you want, but it is one of my favorites.
Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for putting that together. And I hope everybody has a great week. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for watching this week's cruise chat with Marilyn from Riviera Cruises. It was really neat to see all the buildings that they have in France. And that is in a really cool itinerary that they have where you end up overnighting there twice. So that's really neat because like she said, France is super expensive to stay in. And it's nice to be able to have your floating hotel that you've spent the week there and then still be able to explore France. If you're listening to this on our Cruising the Waves podcast and you wanted to go over and see all of the images that we have, be sure to head on over to our YouTube channel. It's Plenty of Sunshine Travel on YouTube. And alternatively, the other way, if you like to listen to things on the go, check out our podcast. We're all on all the streaming channels. So if we're not on your favorite streaming channel, make sure you let me know and I'll get there for you. Next week, I'm going to be meeting with Silver Sea Cruises, and we're going to be going over their amazing Alaska itinerary. So we'll see you next week, everybody, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.